Okay, final game for the Saturday here. We have the Dogs taking down the Sharks. 20 points to 6, pretty convincing win. And that leaves them at the top of the table on their own with 4 wins and no losses. The only team that hasn't lost yet. So, really nice start to the season from the Dogs. Probably a team that isn't as fantasy relevant, but we may have to start thinking about some of their players. But they do have a round 7 bye, meaning round 6 bye. So round 7 is probably the week we want to maybe look at a Dogs player, but we'll get into that soon. We'll start off with McInnes and Fennell Blake, who played extra minutes here due to injuries. McInnes 74 and 75 minutes, Fennell Blake 68 and 71. And yeah, really nice scores from these guys. They're absolute proven guns when they get the minutes, and we've seen that here. However, I don't think it's going to be like this going forward. Obviously, they won't have injuries every week, but when they do have injuries, it seems like these are the guys that are going to get the extra minutes, and rightly so. They're their best players, some of their best players. So if you own either of these guys, you'd be really happy with that, and I'd continue to hold them, but I wouldn't look to buy either of them, and I can say that with a lot of confidence. Nico Hines, hopefully no one pivoted Cleary to Hines, because you'll probably be feeling a bit regretful about that. 48's not a horrible score, but I think if you were paying that kind of money for Hines, you'd be wanting, high 50s into low 60s, and I just can't see that happening too consistently here, with Trindle just taking so much of the kick meters and demanding the ball in his hands more than sort of Matt Moylan really did when Hines was paired with him in the half. So I think you do have to hold him from here, but I definitely wouldn't be selling now that you've used the trade on him, but you'll be really hoping for more attacking stats going forward, and I wouldn't recommend him as a buy at the moment. Teague Wilton, really solid score here, 47 and 80 minutes. Same for Blake Brayley, 42. That's about what we come to expect from these guys, and wouldn't be looking to buy either of them at this point. Iro, 40 in 39 minutes here, scored a try. He's looking really good to start the season. However, I think he picked up a hamstring injury here, so if he's out for 3 or more weeks, I'd probably sell. His replacement's probably going to be Mawene Hiroti. Not 100% sure, but I think that's the next man up for them. And I don't think I'll be looking to buy him at all. Ramian, pretty standard score here. Wouldn't be going there. Nikora, going to lose a decent chunk of cash here. And if he has a few more low games, I think he's one we have to have a serious look at, as he is a proven gun that seems to always sort of have a low patch during the season, but then he'll just needs a few tries and he'll be averaging in the 50s for you. So one to keep an eye on, but not just yet. Is not a buy just yet. Atkinson must have covered the minutes at centre here, 41 minutes for 30 points, but coming off the bench, he's just not one we can look at right now. Stone Street, standard sort of winger score from him, 29, Mulatalo 28, wouldn't be going into either of those guys. Same goes for Rudolph, just come back from injury, 28 minutes, 29 points, wouldn't be going there. Kafusi, same sort of story, just playing those mid-40s minutes. His PPM's not amazing. He's probably like that mid-30s guy, and he's already priced at the mid-30s, so I wouldn't be going there. Trindle, pretty low game after his decent score last week. I think he had one good one last week. Don't need to have a look at it. But yeah, Trindle's just a guy I would be ignoring completely. With Hines there, Trindle really needs to be that dominant playmaker to be worth buying in fantasy. Hautapuha, just 20 minutes here. Wouldn't be looking at him unless he gets an uptick in minutes. Kennedy, if anyone jumped on after 3 scores in a row in the 40s, you get a 15, and probably wondering why you bought him. So tough one to take here, but yeah, I think his average is probably due for some regression back to the mid-30s, and yeah, would be looking to avoid. And then Talakai gets injured here, so Not sure how long he's out for, but I think Hazelton should be back next week, so I don't think anyone's minutes are really going to change too much. So I think Fanua Blake will go back to 50 to 55, and McInnes will go sort of 55 to 60, and both guys that are too expensive to be jumping on right now. On to the Dogs, we got Jacob Preston leading the way with a try. No negative stats here. Try assist as well, so he had a really, really nice performance here, and this is why, if you started the season with him, this is why. It was always only a matter of time before he put up a game like this, and you'd be really happy if you held on to him. Hopefully you didn't get too frustrated with his early games, because now it seems like he is going to be that 80-minute guy, and he should average around that 56, 57 going forward if he is going to be that 80-minute guy. And with the Bulldogs being a top team, he's going to be in for more tries and attacking stats as well. So I think Preston is going to be a really solid player to have in our teams at some point in the season. I wonder if he'd be a smoky for Origin. Probably not just yet, but I wouldn't even blame you if you thought he would be. But with the buy in round 6, I think probably wouldn't look at buying him this week, but he's a guy that is probably a good buy at any time at the price. If you want to gun up, but you're going to be buying him with the idea in mind that you buy him and that's it for the season. You're upgrading to a keeper, and he's just going to be there week in, week out for you. So possibly want him after this price bump. Harder to jump on now. You really would have wanted to do it this week, but one to look at after their buy, I would say. Max King, 55 and 47 here. Pretty standard stuff from him. He's already really highly priced, and I wouldn't be looking to go there. 55 is about his ceiling. Bronson Sherry, 2 tries here, 52 points. So you probably want to be expecting a little bit more from him there, but I guess he's just not really a great fantasy scorer. I wouldn't be looking at him. He's going to gain some money this week, but he's just more of a mid-30s guy, which is about where he's priced. Sexton backs up his kilometre of kick meters with 700 meters this week, but doesn't do too much else and just gets the 47. If you did jump on when Burton went down, then you'd be pretty pleased with this, but it's too late to be diving on him now. He'll go back to that sort of low 40s guy when Burton comes back, and I think he's too expensive to look at now. Curran, pretty standard score from him. 72 minutes on an edge. I'm guessing I didn't catch the whole game, but came off at the end there. Maybe the game was done. They could afford to rest him, but I think he's a bit too expensive to be looking at the moment. Hayward, solid score from him in the halves, but Burton back in round 7. He's got one more game in the halves, and then he'll be back to that kind of 30 to 40 minute roll off the bench where he probably won't score as well. So I don't think I can recommend him as a buy. Neither Kurt Mann. 28 minutes is not very good. Crichton, 40 points with a try and 2 goals. Making a bit of money now after he's picked up the goal kicking. And someone that you could have jumped on a few weeks ago, but I don't know if I'd be doing it just yet with the buy upcoming, and he's just not that good of a fantasy scorer. I don't think I'd be looking at him. Salmon, 52 minutes here for 40 points, so a decent kind of score from him, but I think he's just sort of a bit expensive for a guy where he's not going to probably play 50 minutes every week. You'll be looking at 35 to 50. Bit unpredictable with their rotation. They've got so many forwards. They had a debutant this week, so yeah, maybe he picked up an extra couple of minutes here, but definitely just can't recommend him as a buy. Harry Hayes, same kind of thing. He's just a bit too expensive to be looking at here, with his minutes pretty capped in the 40s. Connor Tracy, 34, pretty standard stuff from him. Wouldn't be going there. Same goes for Montoya, 32 without a try. Standard winger stuff. Wouldn't be going there. Reid Marnie, he's one I've got my eye on if I was going to be looking at a Bulldog. He's falling pretty heavily in cash here. Another low score. He's still playing the 80 minutes though. Just 6 missed tackles here, so pretty concerning stat line. Not someone I'd be looking to buy for a while. I definitely want to see his price come down a bit more, and then if he can hit some at least mid-40 scores, then I think at the right price he'd be a buy, because we know he can average in those sort of mid to high 40s, and maybe around round 7 or 8 I think he'd be someone to seriously consider. Tupanua, 47 minutes here, just the 21 points. If you did jump on him after his big 2-try game, you'd be really disappointed in this one. And I think now he's losing money. I think you can look to move him on pretty quickly. Just not a great fantasy scorer, and also just loves to give away silly high tackle penalties. He's probably due for a suspension or something. But yeah, would be looking to sell him pretty soon. Blake Wilson, not very relevant, and then we got 2 16-minute forwards here for the Dogs. Wouldn't be looking at either of them. Alright, well that'll do us for that one, and I'll be recording the Sunday games very soon.